Um, in terms of that move, right? You did your high school in Nepal. When you came to the US, did you already know what you wanted to be, or what did you figure that out? Yeah, but
So it's kind of coincident, I would say. So I came through a diversity visa, right? So I already had a green card. And back in Nepal, I was doing my bachelor, but I think like in first semester or something like that. But I always wanted to fly. That was my big dream.
uh,
And when I moved to Texas, it's kind of like a dream came true for
mhm,
me because everything that I wanted is here in Texas.
right,
So it was so easy for me to get to do what I always wanted to do.
right.
That's kind of how I see it.
Mhm.
I didn't even waste my time. And then when I was working at the nursing home, I got to work with a lot of like people from different countries and different backgrounds. And I was the youngest one. I was like the 21, youngest one working as a receptionist, some miscellaneous, and they were like, and I still have a like, strong accent. And they were like, who is he, And then that's how I kind of meet other people from the Air Force, like, and they're like, what do you want to do in your life? And I said, I want to fly. I always wanted to fly. And they were like, okay. And we kind of talk a lot about like get into the Air Force. So it was always like for me, while getting into space, doing my undergrad in aerospace I always wanted to.
Right.
So I didn't waste my time. All the struggle I have was like, okay, I know what I want and where I can make my dream come true.
Exactly.
Hard work, dedication, I always have them. So, yeah.
No, it's amazing. And I love that sometimes the right place, the right time also makes such a difference, right? I mean, it was almost like, along with your DV visa, it almost like your dreams actually came true, right? Because you were actually in the right place to do all of that.
Very much. Because when I got here for a year, I couldn't join any college because
Right.
I had to be a Texas resident for a year in
Right.
order that state tuition fee. So I couldn't do anything. But I used that year period just to prepare myself for the Air Force because I didn't know anything about Air Force. I never heard Air Force.
Right.
In Nepal, we don't have Air Force, right?
Exactly.
It's like, I don't know. I never planned my life this way. It was for me, I had like a linear path, right? I'm going to
Right.
finish high school and then I'm going to go to college, graduate from college, and probably learn how to fly, so stuff like that. But when I got here, that's not how things actually worked for me. I had to go work, I had to make money, I had to save all the money so that I can go do the thing that I want to do, right? So the whole thing kind of fall into my plate. Like you have a tons of options if you look at it that way. If you look at it, this is opportunity that you were waiting for so long.
Right.
Then there you go, you have them. Now you have to like pick which one do you want to. So it took me a year to like actually it took me a month to make my mind.
Right.
And I was like, okay. And I started digging about like Air Force. How do I do it? How can I join? What are the things I need, right? All the requirement. I'm like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I only met 2 requirements just to get in the Air Force. I had the green card and then I had high school degree.
Mhm.
Physical, I was nowhere close to that.
Right.
Written test, nowhere close to that. And the security clearance, literally I just moved here, so I did not have any security clearance. I need to work on that as well. So it took almost 13 months to get into the process. I had to train myself. I had to gain like almost 8 kg all around. And I was like, how do I do that? Because I'm not a foodie. I do not eat
Right.
like how other people eat, and I'm very picky on food because all I can eat is just healthy food. And that was not helping me to
Right.
eat. So the whole process was kind of frustrating in a way that everything I was trying to do, I was nowhere close to get there.
Mhm.
It took me almost like 8 months to meet all the criteria, every requirement. And then the 3-4 months I just wait there. I was just waiting for their email or phone call just to say, hey, you got selected. You are in, right? So the form was so challenging for me because I was just waiting there, checking my emails, just checking my voicemail if I miss any call.
Right.
So that's how I kind of got in the Air Force. And from the Air Force, just having no military background, you have no support, right? There is no one you can go around. Hey, how does this thing work, right?
Right.
And you do you do search, do Google, YouTube, but you don't really see everything.
Of course.
So I cannot blame myself why I thought it's a good idea to just join the Air Force. And I never even thought about if I can do it or not. I was like, I'm going to do it. This is the only way I can see it right now.
Right.
So that's how I kind of get into the Air Force and the whole basic training. And then we have other phase of training, right? And it was so new, but at the same time, I was very curious and excited. I'm like, I want to do it, right? So yeah, so that's how I got into the Air Force. That's how I started my career. Really
awesome. No, I love that, Jyoti. Thank you for sharing this. I mean, it really tells a lot about dedication, right? And having that long-term vision. I think for a lot of us, we're so used to seeing success, the short-term, right? If we work hard, we want to see some success immediately. So one thing that I'm hoping our audience gets out of is that sometimes it's good to actually have a long-term vision and work towards it. So Theo is incredible. And I also want to highlight one thing for, our community, right? Because what happens, especially if you think about any job requirements, Theo job postings there is a lot of stats around, especially women won't apply for a job if they don't meet at least 8 out of 10 requirements, right? And there is, a lot of data that for men, it's actually, alikiti kam bhayo bhane pani 5 bhayo bhane pani people will apply. But for women, they want at least 8 to 10 requirements fulfilled garepachi. And your story is so different, that are so inspiring in that sense, right? What it tells our community is that it's okay, right? It's okay not to meet all the requirements, but you could, start with something and work towards it.
Yes, absolutely. Because for me, when I decide to join the Air Force, I didn't even tell my parents. Nobody knew about anything at all. The reason why I didn't tell is like sometimes, can you just imagine a girl just moved to States and then she just within a month, she decided to join the Air Force, right? It's like, do you not have other things to do? Can you not just go to college, or take a loan or do something, graduate from college and then try to, and then think about the dream or the goal you have. For my case, I'm 21. I'm like, okay, I do not have a parents with me. There's no one going to guide me. So it's all on myself.
Right.
And I'm making a decision based on my dream. Like every astronaut, if I look at the background, a lot of them are from the Air Force, Navy, Marine, Army. Right? And I'm like, why? I asked myself why this is happening to me. I mean, first of all, I have such a power. I'm not just highlighting the fact that I have a green card, but if I never had a green card, I would not join the Air Force because that's the basic requirement, right? So I asked myself, if this is happening for a purpose. Then I have to try my best. At least I have to try my best, right? I can go anywhere. I can go work at any companies, just settle with my life, have a good income, and have a house or car, all the desire 21 years old can have, right? All this stuff. But I decided not to have any of that. I decided to make my career first. And I work hard as much as I can, not come up with any excuses. I'm not just like, I never see anyone in the Air Force. There is no Nepali in the Air Force. Right. I can barely talk in English, Okay, there's so many, if I look at it, there's so many things I can say that I cannot do it. Exactly. But I not to look at that at all. And to be honest, there were multiple milestones I had to overcome just to get there, just to, even after the whole like entire year of me just putting my life together, meeting every requirement, and that I was just waiting for 4 months, waiting from their answer. Like I was just waiting there. I'm like, okay, can I? It was kind of very daunting to. If I think about it, I'm like, I don't know how did I manage to just wait there, sit there, and like to just wait, because I think I knew from the beginning that I have everything, that in whatever it takes, I have everything. And if I don't have everything, then I'll make sure I'll get everything. So it kind of helped me in a way that if you think like you have everything it takes, and in the process you have patience, trying to understand the process. And now I'm in the Air Force. Now I kind of understood, like, oh, it's not just only for me.
Right.
Everyone wanted to join the Air Force kind of actually wait more than I waited. But at that time, I didn't know. At that time, I didn't meet any Nepali around me. So I was just clueless,
No, of course. I think, being the first of anything is tough, right? Because there is no path, there is nobody to, like you said, there is nobody to guide you, there is nothing to, follow on, right? There are couple times say it's almost not just you choosing something choosing you, Pani, right? That sort of, keeps you determined and all of that.